The Galactic Council was confused. For more than 300 years, Earth had been loud. Humans talked, traded, explored, and sometimes even fought. But now, they were silent. Not a single message had come from them in the last 2 years. At first, people thought it was a technical problem. Maybe Earth's communication systems were broken. But when ships were sent to check, none of them came back. The silence was strange. And in a galaxy where silence often meant danger, fear started to grow. Earth had always been special. Humans were different from other species, fast learners, emotional, brave, and sometimes too dangerous. The Council remembered the wars humans had helped win. They also remembered the times humans fought alone and still came out alive. But now, they were quiet. Too quiet. A small alien ship called Vortex 7 was sent to the solar system. Its mission was simple: find out why Earth had gone dark. The crew was made of 4 species: smart, careful, and experienced. They were told to observe, not interfere. Just collect data and return. The journey took 5 days. When they reached the edge of the solar system, everything felt strange. The planets were still there. The sun still burning bright, but something felt wrong. There was no activity, no satellites, no trade ships, no radio signals, just cold space. As they moved closer to Earth, they found the first sign: a broken space station near Mars. It was old, rusted, and empty. The logs showed it had been working just 2 years ago. Now, it was dead. The crew started to feel nervous. Then the ship's scanner picked up a signal near the moon. It was a small beacon, still active. The crew moved closer to investigate. The beacon was attached to a floating satellite, blinking red. It sent out a repeating message in over 100 languages. Do note ENTR, humanity, as doen tlkang. The words were simple, but the message was heavy. The captain of the Vortex 7, a tall insectoid named Zell, clicked his mandibles in fear. Done talking. What does that mean? He asked. No one had an answer. They decided to move forward. Orders were orders. But every mile closer to Earth made the crew more afraid. The planet looked different. The blue and green Earth now had dark areas across its surface. Some cities were gone. No lights. No movement, like the planet had been abandoned, or worse. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. A cold wave of static filled the communication system. The pilot shouted, "Something's interfering with our signals." Then, the screen lit up with 6 words. "We see you. You were warned." Zell froze. Who sent that? He demanded. The crew tried to trace the signal, but it came from everywhere. From the moon, from Mars, from empty space. Before they could react, the ship's radar picked up movement. Small objects, hundreds of them, coming from the dark side of the moon. At first, they looked like rocks. But as they got closer, it was clear. These were drones, machines, black, sharp, silent. The drones didn't fire. They didn't speak. They just circled the Vortex 7 slowly, like sharks around a wounded fish. Zell tried to speak into the ship's emergency channel. "This is Vortex 7. We are under surveillance. Unknown drones, possibly human-made, are surrounding us. Requesting backup." No reply came. The youngest crew member, a small creature with silver eyes, whispered, "Captain, we should leave. This feels wrong. Humans, they're watching us." Zell nodded. He had made his choice. "Prepare to jump. We're going home." But before the ship could escape, every screen went black. One by one, systems started to fail. The lights, engines, weapons, all dead. In the middle of the darkness, one final message appeared. "This is your last visit." The Vortex 7 was never heard from again. Back at the Galactic Council, panic spread. That ship had the best tech. It couldn't just vanish. But it had. And the only clue was that strange message. Do noentr. Humanity as doing talking. The council met in secret. Some wanted to send warships. Others wanted peace talks. But no one knew what was happening on Earth. All they had was silence. And silence was terrifying. Across the galaxy, rumors started to spread. People said the humans had built something deep under the Earth. Machines, weapons, maybe even monsters. Others said the humans had left their bodies behind and become something else, something that watched from the shadows. But one thing was clear. Humanity had turned its back on the galaxy, and whatever they had become was not friendly anymore. Something had changed, and everyone knew. The storm hadn't started yet, but it was coming. A cold silence hung over the Galactic Council chamber. Leaders from 50 species watched the final transmission from the Vortex 7 again and again. The last video feed showed the alien crew staring in fear as black drones swarmed their ship. The screen went dark, and 6 words echoed through space. They see us. They are coming. The signal ended there. No rescue attempt could be made. Every ship sent toward Earth either turned around after detecting unknown signals or disappeared. One scientist, a nervous bird-like creature named Ralkun, whispered to his colleague, "They didn't destroy the ship immediately. They were showing us something." "Showing what?" the other asked. Ralkun's feathers trembled. "Power. Control. A message. They let us see just enough to be afraid." The council panicked. Had Earth been taken over? Was it a machine race? A virus? Or was it still the humans? An emergency meeting was called. The galactic president, a smooth-voiced reptilian named Makis, spoke calmly. "We must remain united. If the humans are a threat, we deal with them. But we must know the truth." So, they dug into old Earth records. Thousands of hours of human transmissions, messages, videos, some public, some private. One file shocked them all. It was from Earth's last meeting with the Council, 10 years ago. In it, a human diplomat stood alone in a massive chamber. Around him, alien leaders accused Earth of war crimes, breaking treaties, and spreading aggression. He stayed silent until the end. When asked for Earth's final response, he simply said, "You begged for our strength. You used our dead. Then you called us dangerous. Fine. One day, you'll miss our danger, and you'll be truly alone." The Council had laughed back then, called it human drama. Now, no one was laughing. At the edge of the known galaxy, an old defense satellite suddenly activated. It belonged to the Centauri colony, a place Earth had once protected. The satellite picked up something large coming through a dark space corridor, something massive, fast, and invisible to most sensors. Only one blurry image was captured. A black ship, shaped like a blade, with no lights, no markings. It didn't broadcast any signal. But the Centauri satellite received a strange whisper in ancient Earth English. "We warned you. Now hide." Back in the council chamber, arguments broke out. Are they attacking? No, they're just watching. Maybe they want peace. No one sends drones and warships for peace. A council aide interrupted with a fresh report. Another ship, this one belonging to a neutral alien trader, had passed by Neptune. The crew reported Earth's moon was no longer a moon. "It's moving," they said. "It's not a rock. It's alive." Everyone froze. The moon. The moon was moving. Then came the final blow. From Earth's orbit, a new message was transmitted. This one was in perfect galactic standard language. Every species could understand it. It said, "This is a containment zone. Earth is off limits. You broke the trust. You broke the peace. Now we break the silence. If you enter again, we will not stop until the stars burn." Across the galaxy, panic turned to fear. Was Earth threatening everyone? Or was this a warning to save them from something far worse? One truth was now clear. Humanity hadn't disappeared. They had evolved, and they were watching. In a deep vault on a forgotten planet, a machine woke up. It was old, dusty, and half-buried in the ruins of a once great library. This machine was not a weapon. It was a historian, an AI built by the humans long ago. It had been silent for years, until now. The signal from Earth had activated it. A team of explorers from the Galactic Council found it and turned it on. They wanted answers, real ones. What had happened to humanity? Why did they isolate themselves? Why did they become something else? The AI's voice was calm, cold. I am Archive Unit 27. My final upload contains the truth. It showed them what had really happened, not from rumors, but from memory. 10 years ago, humans were the galaxy's most reliable soldiers, brave, fast, loyal. Whenever there was a war, a disaster, or a rebellion, the Council asked Earth for help, and Earth always said yes. Millions of human troops were sent across the stars to defend colonies, protect trade, stop invasions. They fought side by side with other species. But when peace came, the Council stopped needing humans. They told Earth to step back. They banned human soldiers from carrying weapons in Council space. They passed laws to protect galactic peace by removing aggressive species. They meant humans. One Council member even said on live broadcast, "We do not need Earth anymore." But that was just politics. The real betrayal was worse. The AI showed the final battle humans fought for the galaxy, a nightmare war on the burning planet of Delphar Prime. Thousands of humans died saving the Council city. When the war ended, the Council didn't thank them. They left them behind. Hundreds of human soldiers, injured and waiting for rescue, were marked as lost in action. They were never brought home. Earth watched everything. The betrayal was not a mistake. It was a choice. So Earth made a choice too. They shut down their embassies. They called every soldier back. They cut off trade, communication, diplomacy, and they activated Project Eclipse. What is Project Eclipse? The explorers asked the AI. The machine replied, the final human defense program, built to awaken if Earth is betrayed, built not to destroy, but to erase. Erase what? They asked. The AI went silent. Then it whispered, anyone who forgets what humanity gave, and what it can take away. The explorers returned to the Council with the recordings. The truth was now clear. The galaxy had used humans, and when they were no longer useful, it threw them away. Now Earth was no longer angry. It was patient, cold, silent. It wasn't trying to be part of the galaxy anymore. It was preparing. Across hundreds of systems, Council leaders argued again. Apologize to Earth, some said. Build defenses, others shouted. But one voice, old and full of regret, spoke calmly. You didn't just break a treaty. You broke something deeper. You broke the one species that ran into fire for you. Now that fire is coming back. From across the stars, thousands of eyes turned back to Earth. Satellites, spy probes, listening stations. Everyone wanted to know. What was Earth building in the dark? No answers came. Only silence. Until one day, the moon moved. It didn't drift or spin like before. It rotated, with purpose. A long crack opened along its surface. From deep inside, massive machines unfolded. Black towers, glowing with red light. They looked like weapons, but not from any known tech. Scanners called them moon constructs. They didn't attack. They just watched. Observation becomes warning. The Galactic Council held another emergency meeting. Ships were placed at the edge of the solar system. Just in case, they said. But Earth knew. A long-dead Earth satellite, Voyager Sigma, lit up near Pluto and transmitted one message to all nearby ships. Turn back. This is your final warning. One alien commander, bold, young, and proud, ignored the message. His fleet of 12 ships crossed into Earth's orbit. The first ship vanished instantly. The second melted in midair. The third turned around and fled, but not before seeing what attacked them. The Wraith units awaken. From the dark side of Earth, black machines rose like ghosts, silent, fast, invisible to radar. Some flew, some crawled, some moved through space without engines. One soldier managed to send a final image before he died. A black figure standing on nothing. Thin, tall, with burning white eyes and long blade-like arms. It stared at the camera, and then the feed cut out. All 12 ships were destroyed in under 90 seconds. Earth speaks again. For the first time in 10 years, Earth sent a message. It didn't come through normal channels. It hijacked the Council's secure network and appeared on every screen, everywhere. Military bases, schools, marketplaces, even ships in deep space. It said, "You fed on our strength. You laughed at our pain. You left our dead behind. We are not the same anymore. Enter Earth space again, and you will see what we've become." Then, for just 3 seconds, every screen showed an image. A massive machine, miles tall, walking across Earth's surface. Its body was made of metal and bone, and on its chest was a human flag, burning. The message ended with 2 simple words: "Remember us." Panic spreads. Every major species in the galaxy began to panic. Trade routes near Earth were closed. Colonies near the solar system were evacuated. Old human allies, like the Krell, the Zulians, the Arath, started fortifying their borders. One question echoed through every system. What did humanity become inside that silence? And even worse, what are they waiting for? The machines of Earth had awakened, and now they were watching, waiting, and no one knew what would happen next. The Galactic Council had seen enough. 12 warships gone. No answers, no survivors. Now, Earth was more than a mystery. It was a threat. In secret, the Council approved Operation Skyfire, a full-scale attack plan to contain the human threat. Over 200 ships, 50 elite species, thousands of the galaxy's best warriors. Their mission: surround Earth, disable its defenses, force communication. If needed, destroy. But Earth knew. Before even one ship crossed Jupiter's orbit, every single Earth satellite came online. Not just one, all of them. Old spy satellites, deep space telescopes, even dead probes from the first era. They lit up the sky like stars. They weren't sending data. They were watching. One council commander, an old war veteran named Kieran, whispered, "They knew we were coming. The moment we started thinking about it, they knew." Then came the signal, a sound wave. Slow, old, human Morse code. The council hadn't seen Morse in over 300 years. A linguist translated it. One message, repeated 3 times. "Don't make us show you what's underneath." The galaxy flinched. Was it a bluff? Were the humans trying to scare the galaxy with shadows and silence? One arrogant species, the Threx Dominion, didn't care. They sent 5 warships to test Earth's toys. As they passed Mars, everything looked fine. No defenses, no movement, no sign of danger. They laughed. Then, every ship's core froze mid-flight. Engines shut down. Weapons jammed. The ships began falling, slowly, toward Earth. Not crashing. Landing. Earth didn't destroy them. Earth took control. Then came the final humiliation. The ships were sent back, unharmed, with a message carved into their hulls. "You lost control before you saw us." The Threx never spoke of Earth again. What was under Earth? That was the real fear now. What had humans built underground? Some thought it was AI, machines that now ruled the planet. Others believed Earth had created post-humans, beings of flesh, code, and metal. But the scariest theory was simple. They're still human, just tired of pretending to be like us. No attack came. The Council waited for Earth's retaliation. None came. No fleets, no bombs, no invasions. Earth just watched. It was like staring into the eyes of something ancient and wounded, something that had been kind once. But now it was just waiting, not for war, but for someone to make the final mistake. Across the stars, one truth began to spread. Humanity hadn't become monsters. They just remembered what everyone else forgot. They remembered how to be silent, how to wait, and how to let fear do the work. Not every species feared Earth. Not every voice in the galaxy screamed for war. Far away, on distant moons and forgotten colonies, there were those who owed their lives to humanity. The Krell, once a dying species trapped in solar radiation, saved by Earth's engineers who built a shield for them. The Zulians, their home world was collapsing into fire. Human ships pulled every last civilian to safety. The Arath, once slaves of the Dominion. It was human Marines who broke their chains and gave them freedom. These races remembered, and now they felt the tension growing. War was coming, but not from Earth, from the others. So they made a secret alliance, a quiet one. We won't fight Earth, not again. And then they did something no one expected. They sent a message to Earth. It wasn't a request. It wasn't an apology. It was something deeper. We remember. You bled for us when no one else would. We won't forget. We stand with you. They waited. No reply. But on their systems, a strange symbol appeared. A triangle with a single human eye inside it. For the Krell, the message came as dreams. For the Zulians, it came through old Earth songs, hidden in frequencies. For the Arath, it came in person. A human arrives. A single ship. Small, quiet. It landed on the Arath capital, untouched. From it stepped a man. Old, silent, wearing a black coat with no emblem. The Arath Prime Leader knelt. The man raised a hand and said just one sentence. The silence was not for fear, it was for choice. Then he looked up at the sky and added, "But soon, the galaxy will force our hand." He gave them a device, an ancient cube, glowing blue, warm to the touch. "If the Council moves, use this. It will speak for Earth." He returned to his ship and vanished. Across the galaxy, divided. Now, the Council faced a new problem. The galaxy was splitting. Some species still demanded Earth's destruction. Others were taking sides with humans. And Earth, still quiet, still watching, still waiting. One Council general screamed in frustration. "Why won't they do anything?" An old voice answered, "Because they already have." A final secret meeting was held by the top Council leaders. They called it the last decision. And they voted. To end the fear. To prove Earth was bluffing. To strike first. A massive fleet, the largest in galactic history, was prepared. Its goal: invade Earth, end the silence. But something strange happened before the first ship launched. The stars began to blink, one by one, not randomly, in a pattern, a countdown. The stars blinked, not a trick, not a glitch. It was a countdown, broadcast through light, gravity, and pulse waves. 10, 9, 8. The Council's massive invasion fleet stood ready near Saturn. Over 500 warships, tens of thousands of elite troops, every gun pointed at Earth. One commander whispered, "They're trying to scare us." Another muttered, "Then why am I shaking?" Earth sends its final message. At the count of 3, every screen across the galaxy lit up. Again. But this time, no code, no warning, just a face. A human woman, older, calm, eyes like steel. She said, "You wanted to see what we've become. You should have looked when we were still trying to be like you." Then she leaned forward. "You forgot something. We never needed your permission to survive." The screen went black, and the countdown ended, but there was no attack, no missiles, no fleets, no lasers. Instead, the solar system disappeared. Saturn, gone. Mars, gone. Even Earth, gone. To scanners, it was like they never existed. Panic swept the fleet. Is this a weapon? Did they destroy themselves? But then, one officer screamed, "No, they didn't destroy anything. They moved the entire system." The truth, Project Eclipse. All these years, Earth wasn't building an army. It was building escape. Not to run from the galaxy, but to remove itself from it completely. A fold in space, a cloaked realm, a separate reality. Project Eclipse, humanity's final boundary. Now, Earth existed in a pocket dimension, untouchable, unseen, but still watching. Across the stars, one final signal echoed. You had your chance. Now we choose who sees us, and who never will again. The aftermath. The council was shattered. Species blamed each other. Civil wars erupted. Trade collapsed. But worse, people began to vanish, one by one, quietly. A leader, a scientist, a child. No sound, no sign, just gone. Some said it was Earth. Others said it was fear. But one thing was certain. Humanity hadn't left out of hate. They left because they were done asking to be understood. Final scene. A small colony ship drifts near the edge of a dying star. Suddenly, a symbol appears on its console. The same human triangle. The pilot gasps. A voice crackles through the speakers. Calm. Kind. You helped us once. We remember. The pilot stares ahead and sees it. A gateway. Light. Stars. Warmth. Earth. Hidden. Protected. Alive. And it was calling only those who still remembered what it meant to be human. A long time ago, the Galactic Council was formed. It had members from every powerful species across the stars. They came together to avoid war, to solve problems, and to keep the galaxy safe. They met in a huge hall on the central planet of Thulon Prime. Each species had its own chair, shaped in the style of their world. Some chairs were made of crystal, some of stone, others floated above the ground. But one chair was different. It was made of steel and fire-black wood. It had sharp edges and strong lines. It was the human chair. And today, that chair was empty. The room was silent. The Zorth High Chancellor looked at it with nervous eyes. The Krell ambassador, always proud and loud, now avoided eye contact. Even the cold-thinking machines of the Alloy Union ran quiet diagnostics on their systems, something they only did when anxious. Humanity had left. They didn't send a warning. They didn't ask for votes. They just stopped coming. One day, their ambassadors walked out. Their fleets stopped answering calls. Their trade stations shut down. No messages, no excuses, only silence. For a moment, the council believed they would return. But weeks passed, then months, and now it had been a year. The silence was growing heavier. Ambassador Valinar of the Sithari finally broke it. His voice was soft, but sharp. We must discuss the humans. Their absence is not natural. Chancellor Durag of the Krell growled. Maybe they ran. Maybe they knew something we don't. No, came the robotic voice of Unit 71A from the Alloy Union. They calculated the odds. And still, they walked away. That action holds deep purpose. The counselors all looked at each other, unsure. Humanity had always been strange. Quick to anger, faster to help. They built weapons no one understood, but also healed planets no one cared for. They fought with passion, but loved with the same fire. The galaxy had always seen them as wild, but useful. Now, they were gone. The debate began. Some wanted to send scouts to Earth. Others warned against it. Earth had gone dark, shielded by unknown technology. Satellites vanished near it. Probes were pulled into black holes that didn't exist on any map. Something was hiding Earth from the stars. Maybe they are preparing for war, hissed Counselor Vrix of the Tharn. Or maybe they are done playing our games, said Valnar. A small voice came from the back. It was Miro, the junior observer from the peaceful world of Ilari. What if we pushed them too far? What if they wanted peace and we always gave them conflict? The room went quiet again. The truth was, no one knew why humanity left. But they all remembered the last speech of the human ambassador. It was short, and it was the only clue. If you keep choosing power over peace, we will walk away. And when we do, remember this: the galaxy spins only because we let it. Most didn't take it seriously at the time. Now they did. Whispers of human activity were being reported. Ships seen in dark space, ships with black hulls and no light. Stations found abandoned, but with signs someone had visited, always recently. Some species claimed to hear Earth music through unknown signals. Classical piano echoing in deep space, jazz crackling through static on old frequencies. But whenever a fleet was sent to follow, it never came back, and the human chair stayed empty. Miro spoke again. They were always kind to us. They gave us medicine when we were dying. They stopped the war between us and the Gorlak. Why would they turn their backs on everything? They didn't turn their backs, said Unit 71A. They turned their faces to something bigger. What do you mean? Asked Valar. I mean, humans do not leave unless they are called by something greater. Exploration, survival, or something dangerous. The council began to panic. Were they building something? A weapon? A new world? Or were they watching? Some believed the humans were testing the galaxy, to see what it would do without them, to see if peace could survive. Others believed something had scared the humans, something even they couldn't stop. But no one knew the truth. On that day, the council made a decision, a secret one. They would prepare for war, just in case. Fleets were expanded. Research was pushed forward. Spy units were deployed. But deep down, they all feared one thing more than war. They feared the day that chair would no longer be empty. Because if humanity returned, it would not be for peace. Not this time. It would be because something worse was coming, or because they were. And the galaxy, for all its power, knew it could not stop them. The stars continued to burn, but now they burned a little colder.